Elaine, everybody!
Once I got hopelessly lost on a very long walk, and I became absolutely convinced that I was going to die of exposure. It was completely terrifying. Night was drawing in. It was East London. I was about half a mile away from my front door. I was in sight of two roads. I was 40. Clearly, I'm ill-suited to adventure of the adrenaline's pumping variety. But that's okay, because adventure can be of a milder sort. In fact, apparently, the words from which it's derived mean things like something about to happen, or something that happens by luck or by chance. So I'd like to tell you about one of those. When you stay away from your place of origin for long enough, going back to that place becomes the thing that's cloaked in mystery and cloaked in a sense of possibility. Whenever I land at the airport in Kentucky, I don't have any idea what's going to happen. It was by pure chance, this past Christmas, when I was home, I happened to be on social media when a man that I knew only very slightly in high school messaged me and said, "Did you hear Liz's mother died. Would you like to go to the visitation? I'll pick you up." Now, if this doesn't sound like the start of an adventure to you. I mean, I don't know if you remember the kind of choose your own adventure game books that I had back in school. You choose your brand of adventure and I'll choose mine. So unexpectedly and by luck, I happened to find myself at a funeral home at Christmas, as you do. And there is the mother of my friend in the box over there against the wall. And all around me are people that I used to know who have expanded gently in all directions. Their softened jaw lines and increased waist lines. But I am with a man who has not expanded very much at all, and he knows it, too. He strides in there with confidence, and he's got his warm, sexy voice, and he extends his hand, and he lets people know his name straight off to spare their blushes, just in case they can't quite place him, and I can see them swooning ever so slightly. He's kind of like Justin Trudeau. He's in there, like, working the room. He's like a politician. He could never be a politician. There's too much roguery about him. There's too much of a kind of hint of maybe something unsavory about to happen. But then I noticed we're sort of working this room. We are like working this funeral like a couple. We are going around. He's touching my shoulder. He's sort of standing that bit close. He's whispering in my ear when whispering isn't necessary, and I'm sort of excited. This is exciting. You know, he's tall and he's handsome, and he chose me to bring to this funeral. It's like it's prom rather than what it actually is. It's also like more like any high school reunion sort of experience that I've ever had. And it strikes me, high school reunions and funerals, they're kind of similar. There's the same sense of the passage of time and the frailty of the flesh and all the paths not taken. He shows me pictures on his phone of his log cabin. He's got a log cabin. He's restored his log cabin. So it's like a magazine picture, and it has a porch that runs all the way around. And it's the kind of house that you can sort of think, I could be safe and cozy, and it can be it'll there until the moment that I have to be in a box myself. My whole life could be like that. And I know a bit about log cabins because I used to obsessively read Laura Ingalls Wilder's Little House on the Prairie, and that family moved to ever wilder frontiers and ever more dangerous places. But her dad, Charles, made it all safe because he was strong and he had the know-how, and he filled in the chinks between the logs against the snow and the cold, and he made doors with his own hands, and he hung them on the cabin to keep out the wolves. And I'm starting to realize I had sort of a thing for Charles, Laura Ingalls' dad, and I'm starting to have thoughts that my sort of adult, feminist, married self kind of despises, like, I want my funeral date to protect me from the harsh world. I want to sit by a fire on his lap, in some God-forsaken place. And then he drives me around our old neighborhood, our shared community where we didn't really know each other, but we're pointing out respective friends' houses. And there's the creek where we caught frogs, and there's the creek where we caught the crawdads, and there's the plants and the trees. It's like a safari through our childhoods, and we're hearkening back, and we're remembering, we're talking about this time when it was still all to play for, and we still didn't know whose lives were going to run parallel and whose were going to intersect. And this is his first intersection, his and mine, actually. We didn't really know each other, but my blood is up. I'm kind of thinking, God, it's like I've known him all my life. Surely I've known him all my life. And after all of my travels around the world, what adventure might there be in returning to the utterly familiar and yet utterly foreign at the same time after all this time? And then we go to a coffee shop. We end up at a coffee shop. It's a restored 1920s bungalow that's been moved from its original location by the river to save it from the water. And we're in the coffee shop, and another friend of ours from high school comes in, and she has secrets to tell me. She wants to talk to me. But my funeral date said, no, it's okay, I've got somewhere to be. He said, but could I just steal her for a moment? And stealing is the operative verb, and moment is the correct noun. And I go with them to the door, and I'm feeling this bit of a buzz. I kind of go just beyond the threshold, no further. I'm kind of feeling like there might be a point past which I don't want to go. And we're standing on the front porch, and he calls me gal. He's drawling. It could be no more American than this, surely. And how exotic that feels, as though I really were a stranger in a strange land. And he calls me gal, and he envelops me in this massive hug. And fleetingly, ever so fleetingly, he kisses my mouth. And then it's over. All the unexpected things that had arrived, so unanticipated, disappear. And there's no drama, there's no final burst of adrenaline. I just turn to cross back over the threshold of the little bungalow again. And behind me, dissolving on the air like a mist, an afternoon's adventure, gone.